Principles of Resume Writing. 27 Practical Tips for Writing a Professional Resume. A good and professional resume can act as an arrow, and on the contrary, a non-standard resume will keep you away from reaching your goals. After reading this article, you will get to know the basic and professional resume writing tips that will help you create a resume and complete your resume in a standard format. For a job seeker, having a resume is essential. But every resume does not lead to employment and getting the desired job. Writing a basic and professional resume is important because it is the first criterion that is evaluated for employment and the first starting point for the employer to get to know you. Therefore, what items should be included in the resume and how these items should be written, how the resume file should look and how many pages it should have, etc., are influential and decisive in attracting the employer to meet the job applicant. A good and professional resume can act as an arrow, and on the contrary, a non-standard resume will keep you away from reaching your goals. An important part of the resume is its writing and the text that is written in the resume to introduce you to the target job market. The points that you should pay attention to in the writing and text of the resume are: the first rule. Write a one-page resume. It is very important that your resume can be reviewed and read in a short period of time and that it is as simple as possible. Keep the resume short and use all the key information related to the job in one short text. Your resume should convince the employer to hire you in a short time. The resume should be summarized on one page, but the most important thing here is that all the skills, abilities, and educational and professional records related to the job you want to be employed in should fit on one page, so if you need more than one page, finally write a two-page resume. The next rule. Use a suitable format for writing a resume. One of the points of resume writing is choosing the right format. There are different types of resumes and their formats, the most famous of which are time, skills, and combined resumes. Considering your experience and what skills you have, you should choose the best type of writing format for yourself and adjust your resume accordingly. One of the best and most common types of resumes is the chronological resume, which is written in order from the most recent work experience to the first. The next rule. Mention only relevant documents and experiences and write the most important ones first. You may have many diverse work and educational experiences, but it is necessary to write your resume as short as possible. Since hiring managers spend no more than a few seconds on each resume, if your resume contains information that is too old and not relevant to the job you are applying for, it will harm the visibility of the main and important information. Try to include only the work experiences, achievements, education and skills related to the job you are applying for in the resume and write the most important information according to the priority in the resume. The next rule. Write your important achievements in a way that attracts attention. Instead of listing and writing all the descriptions of your duties in the career history section, write down some of the most important achievements in each position you have held and, if possible, express your impact and success with numbers and figures. You can even have separate sections for achievements and skills to specifically highlight this important information. After you have written all the things you want to be in the resume, you should also check its appearance and format and make the necessary changes to make it look neat and attractive. The next rule. Make the resume as simple as possible. Good resume samples are usually simple and free of ambiguity and complexity. Simplifying the resume makes it easier and faster to read and is more welcomed by the employer. Simple resume writing means that it is easy to read and that a professional, readable font is used. Next rule. Use a suitable font. In order to make your resume easier and more readable, it is better to use a basic and normal font for your resume. Your font size should be between 10 to 12. Choosing a simple and legible font will make your resume look more professional. Also reduce empty white spaces. The long distance between the writings makes the attention and concentration of the one who reads the resume decrease. The next rule. Leave appropriate margins for the resume file. Normally, you should leave a margin of 1 inch on each side of the page of the resume file and a space of 1 centimeter between lines and text entries. Margins around the text can be up to 2 inches. Next rule. Write all your contact information. You don't need to specify your residential address exactly in your resume, but you must have a contact number, a valid email address, and a LinkedIn address in your resume. One of the most important parts of a resume for any employer is the record and work experience section. You should know what to write, what not to write, and what to do if you don't have a job history. Next rule. Write recent and related records. As a rule, you should know that it makes sense to write job records up to the last 10 to 15 years, not more. Also, you should write only the records related to the requested job, not unrelated ones. Next rule, don't have any relevant work experience? Do not worry. If you have no work experience and are a recent graduate, or you do not have relevant experience in the field you are planning to work in, you can focus on the skills section and write the abilities related to the job you are applying for in your resume. The next rule. Use bullet points in the resume. One of the principles of writing a professional resume is the correct use of bullet points. Using bullet points in the resume helps to better categorize the content and make things better visible, but no matter how high the number of your skills, records, and useful information is, you should not use more than 4 to 5 bullet points in each section. The next rule. The resume should include numbers. In the experience and work history section, it is better to use numbers to convey more concrete concepts. Employers respond very well with quantifiable metrics, and these numbers help better understand how much you're worth in a related job. Your success rate in your job, efficiency rate, number of people working under your management, etc. The next rule. Show your power and skill. It is not enough to say and list the skills alone. The fact that you have been a powerful manager should be stated in the bullet points in such a way that it is clear from the meaning of your writings. Think about it in this way, you can express several skills and abilities in one bullet point without direct reference. Next rule. Look for keywords for the job you want. When you want to get hired in a particular company or organization and business, first of all, you should carefully read the description of the job you are applying for and use the main and key words of that job in your resume. By reading the job description, you will clearly understand what the employer of that organization is looking for in an ideal employee, making it easier for you. Next rule. First write about experiences and then documents. What experiences you had in your education is more important than what university you attended. Do not follow this rule only if you are a recent graduate. Next rule. Do not list your education date. Someone reading your resume is more interested in your educational qualifications than your graduation date and college experience. The next rule. Write academic successes and achievements in bold. Write any success you have achieved during your studies that is relevant and related to the requested job with more importance in your resume. Next rule. Write your current educational status. If you are studying online or face-to-face, you should mention it in your resume. Include all courses you have taken online in this section. Next rule. Skills, interests, and awards you've earned. Make sure to write down all the skills relevant to the job you are applying for. Avoid writing skills that are expected of all applicants and write only the most important ones to appear more professional. And the last rule. I think this law is very important. And the last rule. Give independence to your personality. Don't be afraid to write about your interests, but only write about interests that are relevant to the job you are applying for. Aligning your interests with the needs and wants of the companies and organizations to which you are sending your resume will make your resume stand out from others. It is not possible to say with certainty which resume writing method is better. But if you plan to go through all the steps of writing a resume yourself, be sure to see different resumes in advance and finally design a good resume. I hope you are successful and victorious in all stages of life. Please help us by leaving your comments.